8 minutes we got left before we chat. Grab your coffee, find your seat. Cowbells are ringing, that's our cue. Gonna share our thoughts with you. Laugh and gossip, spit in tea. Little secrets between you and me. Countdown ticking, let's get real. Heart to heart, it's how we feel. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all those tears. Snap a pic of what we wear. Brush our hair, let down our care. Conversations never lie in this moment with you and I. Clock is ticking, here we go. Words like rivers start to flow. Tune your ears and hear the beat. Girl talks makes our time so sweet. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all our tears. Clock is ticking, here we go. Words like rivers start to flow. Tune your ears and hear the beat. Girl talks makes our time so sweet. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all our tears.
Morning, y'all. It's 5 minutes and 30 seconds before Girl Talk starts, so you have just enough time to grab yourself a cup of coffee and get in a comfy seat. We'll see you soon.
Catch Girl Talks every day. Follow socials, here's the way.
GURLTAUX, every platform come to play. Catch our vibe, don't delay.
Facebook, YouTube streams. Scrolling through your daily memes. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talk is all about. Keeping it real, it's what we do. So tune in now and join our crew. Lights moving through the screen. Click subscribe, don't be me. Upbeat chatter, it's our routine. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Girl Talks can be seen. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. Update stories, laugh and cry. It's Girl Talk, so don't question why. It's the show that you'll adore. Come back daily to get some more. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Girl Talks can be seen. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX, log in now, watch our show. Likes and comments, let them flow. Every day we're on our way. don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about.
Walking down this road tonight, talking about the things we fight. Addiction knocking at my door. E&T wants so much more. We walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, together we'll move along. Searching for a brighter day, holding tight along the way. Sobriety's a steep climb, D&T winning every time. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along.
That's just for Greta.
Wake up!
She's like, we can't use the cowbell because it's Mississippi. I'm like, this one's from Wisconsin. It has nothing to do with Mississippi.
It's Ole Miss.
She's like, it don't
is Ole
matter.
Miss.
It's Ole Miss.
It's Ole Miss.
I'm like, well, I'm using the cowbell because I like cows, not because of football. Oh, maybe I should change your camera view. You want your head?
Sure. Maybe. I don't know.
The headless solution.
It's fine. Either way, I'm good. I'm just here.
Yeah. That's why I am this morning. I'm like, oh, cowbells to wake me up. Is that what that's for?
Yeah, something like that.
A lot this morning.
That was to Cash, by the way. Not one of the adults. That was to Cash.
Oh, it would help if I have the right one. I'm over here pushing, and Greta's going like this, but I'm not watching Greta. I'm watching you, and I'm like, well, now Greta's disappeared.
Welcome
We'll get it eventually.
Welcome to
Sorry,
the
y'all.
Struggle Bus. Welcome to the Struggle Bus.
We are
It
here.
is a Monday, Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes.
TGIF.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a TGIF. I've had so much to do this week, and it still looks like I haven't done anything because I've been doing a bunch of little things to get things done, and it's like, okay. And Steve was supposed to be home at 8 tonight, so I had all day to work.
And now he's middle of the day and messing up your whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's going to be home.
Right.
Where are
But
you
the
picking up at?
timing,
Huntsville
Airport.
but the timing isn't good.
Right. Because
Yeah.
now I have to, and one, I can't go do the tattoo thing.
Yeah.
Because I can't be like, you know,
We're getting a tattoo, honey. Just wait. I'll be there when I
just
can.
hang out. I'm waiting to get
I don't know when my tattoo is going to be because of the way the line is. So just wait, get comfortable, and I'll get you when I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, and Huntsville Airport's like not one of those cool airports to hang out in either. Like,
no, it's
like
really not.
it's so small.
It's like the Lake Tahoe or Reno Tahoe Airport. There's
it-
nothing that, well, except for there's gambling.
yeah, there's
You can
there's
gamble.
not that. I was supposed to fly into that Reno one last year.
Funny story about the Reno one. Back when I was in the military, I came home for a visit. And this is before 9/11. So like, remember I told you guys I will leave with a couple of gallon jugs of water. So I was in the Army, so like I put like 2 gallons of water in my backpack and I was carrying 2 gallons of water. And I had a little bit of time to wait for my flight. And this will tell you how long ago it was. It was still quarter machines or change machines. So I was like, well, I have a little time to kill. I'm not a gambler. Not about it. If I'm going to spend that money, my plan is like, here's $10, here's $20. I'm planning to lose it. Mm-hmm. But I've always had the rule you spend, and it really screwed up when it became digital because now you have it in this bank. Whereas before I had a roll of quarters and I would just, when the roll was done, whatever was in the bucket, I kept. Mm-hmm. So I may end up with $2. I may end up with nothing. I may end up with $1. So I'm spending my quarters. And I mean, it's getting close to time for my flight. And I think I was like maybe 5-6 quarters left in my little quarter roll. And I put the quarter in and I won like a whole shit ton, but it comes out in quarters. So it's like, I think there was 3 buckets full of quarters.
Wow.
Like I won a lot. And I don't have time. I'm hearing last call for my flight and I'm chucking all of this into my bag.
And you've already got the
I've
gallons
already
of
got
water.
2 gallons of water in my rucksack.
So as you're walking on the plane, you flip over because
Pretty much.
Can't move a turtle.
Pretty much. I mean, I got all the quarters into the bag, and there was a guy right there watching me, and it was a military looking backpack, and he's watching me, and I'm dumping. I think I had 3 buckets full of quarters. That's how much I won, and it's super funny because after I got it all in there, I grabbed the backpack and like I would back up to a backpack, get it kind of on, and then jump and get it in place. And I couldn't get it. And he's like watching me, and finally he walks. He's like, "Would you like a little help with that?" And I'm like, "Sure." He goes with one hand to grab the top handle on my backpack, and he's like, "What the fuck do you have in here?" He's like, "I did watch you dump 3 buckets of quarters in here." And I'm like, "I have 2 gallons of Tahoe water in there too." And he's like, "Oh, I get it." And then he takes it and he helps put it on, and I get it on. And this is the first time in forever I had to buckle the buckle to keep it in place. And I, chomp onto the plane.
Then you got to take it off on the plane.
Take it off, and I have to put it up in the overhead bin.
Oh gosh.
So I'm struggling, and it wasn't that hard because I just backed up to the seat, unsnapped it, and let it kind of just fall off into the seat. And then and I'm picking it up, and I'm looking around, and the airline stewardess, who was a really small little gal, comes over and she's like, "You need help with your bag?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can't do it."
It weighs more than you do.
And she's like, "Oh, you'd be surprised what I can do." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can't do it." Like, I'm a soldier and I work out for this shit and I cannot do it. And so she went to pick it. It didn't even leave the seat. It did not even lift off the seat. And the guy right next to us, I was like, this is when we can prove that we need men. I'm like, can you help me put this
Hate
bag
to
up
admit
there?
it, but
And he had to stand on the seat with the bag to get it up there because he couldn't hold it enough, and it kept falling because it was. It was really fucking heavy. 3 buckets of quarters and 2 gallons of water, and the other shit I had in there, and so it ended up taking 2 men, and it was because it was heavy, but it was also awkward. You know, it's not like a easy to control thing. So it took the 2 men to put that up in there. And then when we landed, of course, both guys immediately jumped up and got
Got it down for you.
and then I said, "Yeah, don't just set that in the seat. Please just put it on my back."
put it on me, please.
And they're like, "I hope you don't have far to go with this crap." And I'm like, "Yeah, no
The
kidding."
guy that I was supposed to go to Tahoe with last year, I said something, and he was like, "Just pack a backpack." I said, "Have you met me?
Have you met a woman?
And you're expecting me to take winter clothes in a backpack? They're a little bundlesome. That ain't happening."
Have you met a woman?
Yeah.
Well, I pack whenever we go on any trip, and it's for a week, and I put my 3 younger girls and my husband and I stuff all in one bag for everybody for the week.
No.
So I guess I travel light. I'm not a typical girl. I don't know, but
I wish I could.
That's
There's
it.
no way.
Well,
I'm going to need a minimum of 2 outfits a day, minimum. And that requires, shoes and
outfits.
possibly going to Tahoe. I really wouldn't need a whole bunch of shoes because I'm just going to wear ones that
Boots?
I'm not going to fall down on. In.
yeah.
But it's still going to be a minimum of 2 outfits a day. And, there's the winter coat and it ain't happening. Dude. Dude.
Yeah.
And then there was some discussion about me flying instead of into Reno, into Idaho Falls, I think, because he was driving over from Jackson Hole,
Idaho
Wyoming.
Falls.
And he was driving.
That's a long fucking way
well, but
away.
he was driving over from Jackson, Wyoming, so I think he come through there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he wanted to pick you up in
So he
Idaho
was going to
Falls
pick me up
and
there,
then
but then he
drive.
was worried about the time, and I was like, I mean, if I get off the plane and I can just find a bar and drink. Like, I don't care. Then I'll be more fun on the ride over.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up. Thank God it ended up not happening.
Well, yeah,
Unanswered prayer.
unanswered prayers. Sometimes those are good to have.
Yeah.
So-
it would have been fun though. Like, I was kind of excited about it. Like,
Yeah.
There was even a fishing trip planned.
It would have been fun.
So-
I'm going to Tahoe next May, because we're doing Kristen's celebration of life,
Okay.
and Donna and I were talking yesterday. We're trying to find the cabin we rented and we wanted to rent the same cabin, just kind of a sentimental thing for us. And I honestly, in our conversation yesterday, I was like, I really feel like that was the last happy moments for her with us. I sent her a picture. I didn't even realize I had, because I was trying to find the cabin info. So I just Googled, you can pull up your text messages and just put something and have it pull up every text message that has that. So I put cabin, and there was all sorts of information and the address and all that stuff. But there was a picture I took of Kristen on the couch, cuddled up in a blanket, sleeping. And it was like the first time she slept after I picked her up, and she like crashed. But she was, completely out. But if I left the room, she would be like, "Please don't leave the room. Come back." I would come back in. And so I moved my computer and everything into the living room, and she went right back to sleep every time. But if I went to the bathroom, "Where are you going?"
I got pee.
And I'm like, "I'm just going potty." And then I would come, and she eyes still closed, still half asleep. She's like, "I just feel so safe with you here." And I was like, okay, so I'm just going to stay in the room. And, it's a really sentimental moment for that. So I'm like, I kind of want to go back to the same place, but we're having a hard time finding it for rent. So So I'm wondering if they stopped renting it out.
They may have
They may
stopped
have.
renting it out.
Yeah, but we're gonna still
Because
try
I
to.
know, like, I'm sure in Tahoe, I know that they've probably had it done for a while, but you have to report now if you have a VRBO
Mm-hmm.
and pay taxes on it and all that. And pretty sure it's probably expensive.
Well, they've
too.
been an Airbnb for
Yeah.
many years. So I have the phone number to the manager lady that.
Could have sold even somebody else own it. and
Yeah,
they
somebody
don't
may have
rent
bought it and said we don't want to rent it out.
Yeah.
I know my dad's house is a seasonal house, but I think they just have it as a seasonal house.
Uh-huh.
I have to turn Greta's camera
That is
off.
driving me bonkers.
It is driving
Am
me
I
nuts.
am I blinky?
You are.
Whoops, I turned the wrong one off. I turned Alicia.
Bye, y'all.
Now we'll reset Alicia's. But
Now it's the Tori show.
maybe since it's right next to you, can you like unplug the plug and see if it's just a loose plug or something? Maybe because it'll reset automatically. Now it's just the Tori show. Hello, everybody. I'm here.
Yep, just the Tory show, and we all get quiet. We're like waiting
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
We can still talk. The microphones still work.
Oh, that's
still
right.
work. Yeah.
That's right.
Thanks for reminding us because they do still work, and it does not have to be just on me.
So, what's our actual topic today?
It is actually.
I don't think it was Tahoe.
It was no, it wasn't supposed to be Tahoe. It's 'tis the season ? Tis the season for ? So, is it memories? Is it reminiscing? Is it family? Are you a super Christmas person? What does this season mean for you?
I used to absolutely hate Christmas. Like, I dreaded it for months and months. Because when I was little, like on Christmas Day, I would do Christmas with whichever parent had me that time. And then we would drive to a grandparent's house. And then we would drive to an aunt's house. And then we would drive to wherever. And then we'd go back to whoever's parents didn't have us in the morning, had us that night. So we had like 5 to 7 Christmases to squeeze into like a day and a half. And
It
everybody
was
thinks,
exhausting.
oh, it's so much fun. Look at all the Christmases you get, all the presents you get, it was exhausting.
So it was more exhausting.
Yes.
It was a chore.
Yes,
I will say for
absolutely.
my parents to have not got along my whole life, and they didn't. My life was turmoil. Christmas, they actually had an arrangement, and it worked, and it still does. Like I go. My daddy gets me early on Christmas Eve, and then I go. And like when I was small, Daddy would take me home, and Santa came. Mm-hmm. So they actually shared that, and Daddy got to see Santa bring me my presents. But then, as I turned 16, then I can drive myself, kind of thing, and Daddy, and so Daddy didn't really come see me, but they work together, like it's always worked together. And for them to have hated each other, that was kind of cool.
So they made
did
it
that.
special for
They
that.
did make Christmas work. Yeah. I remember one year.
They didn't make anything else work, but they make Christmas
one
work.
day a year. I got one day a year.
And they're like, I've been saving up niceness all year and putting it in this bucket, and I'm going to dump
Merry
it
Christmas. We're getting along today. Like, I remember one year when my leg was broke, I was on crutches. I spent 2 years on crutches, and it snowed on Christmas Eve. And I wasn't able to work, like I had probably stayed up late watching TV or whatever. And I remember my daddy calling and waking me up. And he was like, girl, it's snowing out there. Me and Julie just went to town and it's pretty slick. You probably need to go ahead and get out of the house and get to your mama's or my house or something. And I got up and I looked out and sure enough, it was a solid sheet of ice. And I was like,
on crutches.
I can't do
staying
that
home today.
I can't do that on crutches. Like,
Yeah.
that ain't possible. And I called Mother, and Mother was like, you need to tell your daddy to come get you. And I went, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So I called Daddy and told him, I was like, come get me. By the time he got there, I had dumped like I put all my packages in a bag. Like I got really efficient on crutches, believe me, and put them on the front porch. And he was like, don't worry about getting things together. I was like, I got time.
I already got it all.
Yeah.
sound good.
So he come and got me, and then he took me back to Mother's. But I mean, yeah, he was like, it was just kind of funny. He was like, "Girl, you need to work. You need to get out of the house." It's and I was like, "I can't go nowhere." Like, I don't think you. And I was no weight bearing most of the time on my foot, so I'm on crutches with one leg, the other one
Right.
holding it up. Yeah. So
It was for necessity stuff only, right? This is not for really actually walking.
that's what people always want it to snow on Christmas. I'm like, no, we have to get places. Like Christmas is for getting places, and that don't happen in Alabama when it snows.
There's a great place for snow. It's in the
Maine.
mountains. Tahoe. A picture.
Not Alabama.
A picture
The only snow I ever see is on a Christmas card. The rest of my life, I will be perfectly fine.
on a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Those are the great places.
I will watch the ones with snow, but if I can find a Christmas movie that is based somewhere where it's never gonna snow, I'm a happy camper.
I will tell you though,
I'm good.
because I'm from Tahoe, and I do love the snow, but I'm not a fan anymore. It hurts.
We don't get snow.
My body starts hurting from the
Snow
cold.
here is way different.
and it's so different. So I'm not a fan anymore.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeing it. I can drive in it just fine. I mean, I grew up in it, so it's not like.
But again, we don't
I
get
grew
it,
up in
and
it
it's
and
ice.
can't driving it for crap.
I can drive really well. I
It's
got some
ice
funny
here.
stories.
It's ice here. It's not,
Yeah,
and nobody
ice-
should
ice-
really drive on the
Yeah.
ice.
Ice
Like,
is a lot different, and it is ice here when it does come. A few years ago, there was a guy in an older pickup type truck, not an old pickup, but a truck, and it was 2-wheel drive, and he was stuck on this, and it's not even a hill. It was just a little tiny thing, but it's right as you're getting on to go onto the freeway. And there's semi trucks, and he's now backing up all the traffic because he can't get it to go.
Oh no.
He can't get it to move, and he's in the way of everybody. I'm in my Jeep, and it's one of those things that is an instant irritation for me. Like, if you can't drive in the snow, go home.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
the fuck home.
I'm not even gonna get out.
You
We're
should
good.
not even
I
be
will
out.
mind you.
And if you're scared, that's a double whammy. Don't go out.
Yep.
So I pull over on the side of the road, and I run across the street. I mean, all traffic is stopped because of this guy. Nobody can go anywhere. And for the semi trucks, they need that little bit of momentum before
Right.
getting on the freeway. And so I park on the side of the road in my Jeep. I run across to the truck, and I go,
Get
out."
over, man.
I did. I said, "Get the fuck out." And he's like, "Excuse me?" I said, "I'm going to get your truck out so you can get out of the fucking way." And he's like, "It won't move. It's stuck." I'm like, "No, you don't know how to drive. Get the fuck out."
Right.
And he's like, and you could see the semi truck driver, and I'm not being quiet. I'm loud. And the truck driver's got his window down.
Tori loud?
Yeah, never.
Never.
And finally, so the guy did get out, and 2 seconds, whoop, 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 I got the truck out and moved over to the side of the road. And I said, "Now, if you don't know how to drive, stay the fuck home." Got back in my Jeep and took off. And the semi truck driver's honking his horn. Everybody else is honking his horn. They're all waving at me like, "Good job." And I'm like, yeah, but that was pissed off. I wasn't trying to be
Nice.
neighborly. I wasn't trying to be a good Samaritan. I wasn't trying to be helpful. I was pissed off. Like, get the fuck out of the way. You're just causing a traffic jam, which is going to turn into an accident.
Right.
Because somebody is going to go on all the straight lanes
Yeah.
and come and try to go around everybody, and somebody's going to get going. Mm-hmm. So you're going to end up with something happening. So that was pissed off helper. That was not helper. That wasn't the positive girl trying to do something nice.
I was on my way home from work once in Maine, and I had my dad's Explorer, and I had stopped at Dunkin' Donuts on my way home from work. So I had a nice hot coffee, and like the road I lived on wasn't paved. It was a dirt road, and it had snowed, and it was all like icy, whatever. So I'm driving, and a deer jumped out in front of me, and I think I was like 17 or so. but I swerved to not hit the deer and went across the road down like this big hill thing, and the Explorer went end over end rolling, and I smashed into a rock wall that was like out into this woods that I was in. And I was thrown from the driver's seat to the trunk because I was not wearing my seatbelt. And a tree,
She'd never wears her seatbelt.
a tree went through the back window and was holding me like
It had you pinned.
kind of, but the tree it landed on its side, so the tree was going up through both of the side windows of the trunk, and I was like
Under it.
under it. Yep. The only thing that happened to me was I had a little bruise on my leg from the steering wheel, and the whole front end was smashed up. And if I would have been in my seatbelt,
Honestly,
I would have died.
It's the same story of when my dad and my uncle both lived through a bad wreck
That's why I
because
don't
they
wear my
weren't
seatbelt.
wearing their seatbelts. So, and I've been to accidents where the person might have survived, but
When
statistically,
it's your time,
Yeah.
it's your time.
exactly, statistically,
They save lives.
they save lives.
Although they are a leading cause of death for women in the front seat because women sit closer and women's bone structure is not as strong as a man's.
Oh, they
Well,
hit me right here.
It hits
like,
me.
that can't be safe.
That can't be safe. You're gonna it's gonna break your neck. It's going to, and I probably honestly wouldn't wear one other than my car is a fucking asshole.
You
My-
just click it behind you.
My car never shuts the fuck up.
Or, well, like I've got a thing for him. I should make him wear it. I don't, but it clips in, and
I
then
have
I
that-
can clip it to his collar, so you can just stick one of those in it, and it shuts it up.
I have a doggy seat belt for my dogs for the back. They're a little harness and they hook in.
Oh, this is just a little
I forget
kind
to,
of a leash. It's about this
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
and it hooks in, and then it hooks to him.
but I forget to put it on them too. And now if I'm in a passenger in the back seat of someone else's car, I never put my seatbelt on. If they go, you need to put your seatbelt on, I'm like, okay. Click. I let them hear the click, and then I put it behind my back. Or I don't like them in a back seat.
Yeah.
But I really don't like. I'm not a tall woman.
They
You
go
know,
right here, and it feels like it's choking you.
I'm 5. Well, I used to be like 5'8", but now I'm like 5'7",
By nothing.
and it cuts across your neck. And I'm constantly pulling it down. And they have that adjustable thing in it.
still
now.
doesn't go low
It
enough.
still don't go low enough to where, because it should be right
it's
here.
supposed to go right across your
It's
chest.
supposed to
and
go
shoulder.
across here, and lap belts, of course, are even worse but they can cause internal injury, internal damage.
My oldest sister was on a church retreat. in
This
a
is
big
not
church
a
van.
PSA for anti-seatbelting.
No.
We are not advocating for not wearing a
And
seatbelt.
this has something to do with the reason for the season. It does.
Well, she had just the little lap part on, and when they crashed the bus, I don't remember what happened for them to cause a crash, but the bus crashed, and she went to the hospital just to be checked out. Everything looked fine. She didn't even have a bruise.
She went home for her internal injuries and
Yep.
died.
Well, she didn't die. She's
Okay.
still alive, but
Okay.
it cut into her intestines and a piece of her stomach. Mm-hmm. And they just did scans at the hospital to be sure she was okay.
Yeah.
And they caught it.
Well, a good hospital keeps that person for 24, 48-hour observation for internal injuries based on the mechanism of injury.
Those exist.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That
Those exist.
yeah.
Well, not around here.
Oh, well, I mean, they did keep
Well,
you.
I don't know.
so-
They kept the
I
leash.
I
over
went
a
to
couple days.
Huntsville. I did not go to Athens.
Well,
I skipped Athens.
They're all by the same place, but yeah.
Well,
good call.
so here's what
I thought
I've-
you were in Athens.
Here's what I've learned going to the hospitals here. Because we took my husband to Huntsville Hospital when he had his Jeep accident. Huntsville Hospital, you will wait a lot longer to get in, but they seem to be more detail oriented on what's wrong. Athens, you will get in much quicker, but you will also leave not knowing what the fuck is wrong with you.
Anytime
I didn't get in much quicker with my gallbladder, and I was there. I I wasn't running a high fever, but my fever runs low, and I told them that. So, yes, I had a fever, but they was like, "It's not that high." I'm like,
But for you, it was.
"Yeah," and I know I
Yeah,
went
because
to.
there are some people that their average temperature is 96, 97.
That's me.
Versus 98.6.
Yes.
They're 96, 97. So at 99, they're
Mine is
really
high.
like 101, 102.
That's
That's
me.
how I am too.
And I mean, like, I went up there and I was like, "Do you know I've been to the bathroom and threw up 10 times while I've been waiting? Like, can I please go back there and lay down? Like, and two, when I'm ready to throw up, I don't really want to sit back there in the bathroom, and it's a long walk. Can I just go lay down and y'all give me a throw up bucket because something's wrong and y'all making me sit out here?" Like, I was so like,
Yeah. Well, and,
they didn't
and you
care.
tend to get much more irritable. And so 'tis the season
Tis,
or-
tis, tis.
getting sick.
Yep.
2020 Christmas, I had COVID. I was sick as shit, and I slept in a chair sitting upright for like 2 months when I had COVID because I did get it really bad. I still haven't gotten all my taste back, and it's 2024 now. It's been 4 years, and I still don't have all my taste back. I still, milk still smells rotten. Like
Oh, I think milk smells rotten anyway. Can't
That's my
handle milk.
favorite thing in the world.
everything, eggs still don't taste very good for me.
I don't think eggs ever tasted good.
I like how Alicia's like, you were wrong. You were wrong.
You're not
before."
missing anything.
I mean,
But
I'm just not even going to eat an egg.
but I
so-
know they talk about your taste changes as you age anyway. I don't eat it. I have taken a couple little tiny bites, but like bacon smells really good now.
Bacon is
and
awesome.
And I've
Bacon is
never
awesome.
ever
Bacon
eaten it. Don't
smells
like
good.
it.
Bacon smells good. Period. Even I would think even if you didn't like bacon, it smells good.
It does smell good. It does. It smells good enough that I'm like, I want to try that, and I'll take one little tiny bite, and I'm like, nope, nope, not eating that shit.
So good.
Oh,
You're
it's
missing out.
so good.
So good.
And then, okay, a holiday tradition for me, it's not Christmas, but it's New Year's. I have to have hog
We're
jaw.
not there yet.
I have to have hog jaw.
What's hog jaw?
What the fuck?
It is like, it's hog jaw.
Like literally a pig jaw.
but it's like bacon. It's like thick cut bacon. And it's got like a right, you eat
Isn't
it.
a jaw made out of
It's
bone?
delicious. It's the skins. Yeah. I mean, I love some pork skin, but y'all, and actually eating hog jaw is what made my gallbladder go into full on attack because I had cooked so much hog jaw New Year's, I had ate it for a week straight. I love it that much.
Oh, so you should definitely not eat that shit.
Well, I mean, it's like I mean, it's fatty. It's a thick cut.
I mean, they
fatty
do talk
bacon.
about the fact that pigs have the most parasites. So there is that.
I love me some bacon, but
It's delicious. If you like bacon, you would like hog jaw. You really would.
it sounds.
I don't like the
not
name.
very
Can you name it something different?
And yeah, it's probably one of those things too. Like I ate it my whole life. Typically, it's really hard to find except New Year's. You can't find it in the grocery stores.
probably a reason
That's
for
like
that.
when somebody says, "Oh, you
They
should
just-
have tongue." Thank you.
They just don't like that. They don't cut it like it's just it's. But at New Year's, it is a thing. It's supposed to be for prosperity. It's my favorite meal of the year, and that you can find it sliced around New Year's.
Can they call it something besides jaw?
Jaw.
Like hog jaw? I mean, that just sounds.
Jaw. You gotta put the L on it. Jaw.
Jaw.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with tongue. And
Yeah, I've never and probably like
I've heard from people it's really good, and I'm like, I don't like the fact of eating another carcass in the first place. Like
Yeah,
in
that's true.
my
You are-
brain,
yeah.
my brain doesn't like eating another carcass, and it's not because I'm anti eating meat, like you do you boo, but I don't like I've never liked meat from the time I was a little kid. So
Yeah.
you add in something like hog jaw
Jaw.
or tongue, I'm done.
Which now, like,
I'm out.
if I had not ate it as a child, which I mean, I only ate eggs when I ate them as a child, but anyway, if I had not ate it as a
Did
child,
they tell you it was hog jaw?
yeah, I mean that's what they called it. I just never put it together, I guess, until I got
okay.
a little older.
Okay.
But I do And remember I told you the thing about my grandfather raised pigs. You know, there was Sue that I thought that's what her name was. So he would always have, you know, he would have his own hog jaw, you know, that kind of stuff. And I grew up eating it on a regular basis.
It came from Sue.
It did. It did.
Oh no.
But now I can only get it New Year's. And if we go to the beach, my mother loves Lambert's. I'm like, it's not really the food I want to eat when I go to Orange Beach, but okay, Mom, we'll go to Lambert's just for you.
What's Lambert?
It's a meat and 12 place. Like, I say meat and 3, but like you order your meat and 3, and then they come around with these. It's kind of cool. They come around with these big pots. And they was like, you want some black eyed peas too? You want some pinto beans? And they throw rolls and like even if you order meat and 3, they're gonna come around with pots and add to your plate.
In Huntsville, they have a restaurant called Walton's Southern Table. So I call it the funeral home
Why?
because on the West Coast, anything called Walton's is a funeral home.
Oh, it's good food. Walton's is good food.
Walton's Funeral Home.
never
Walton's Funeral Home. Walton's
It's
Crematory. It's a West Coast brand for cremation and funerals and stuff. And so the first time I saw that, and I was like, "Hey, we should go eat there." And he's like, "Where?" I said, "At the funeral home." And he, as soon as he saw it, he's like, "Oh yeah." But then when you walk in there, the decor kind of looks like when you would go into a funeral home. Like you should be looking for a casket.
It's not your typical meat and 3 diner-ish look.
And most of the people in there look like they'll be visiting a funeral home real soon.
Yeah,
oh my!
It does have an older clientele.
It does.
Younger kids don't want meat and 3s.
I
So-
told the server when we were there the last time what I call it and why, and she looked around. She goes, "Yeah, kind of looks like a." She go. I said, "Was this maybe a funeral home before when they turned it in?" And she laughed, and she's like, and then she looked and she pointed out the clientele, and she's like, "Yeah, they're probably going to be visiting one soon." I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty."
Lambert's is not that way. Lambert's is decorated a little more like Cracker Barrel-ish, kind of, you know, rusticy or whatever. But they have hog jaw 24/7 on the 365 on their menu. So I do allow my mother to go to Lambert's because she don't eat seafood, so that's her favorite. And I'm going to make her eat seafood the rest of the time. But they have hog jaw, and I get really excited about that. I'm like,
Okay, so what is your favorite or best memory of Christmas? Do you have one?
I guess after I got my license and was able to drive back and forth to people's houses on Christmas, we would stop at Dunkin' Donuts when I left
It
my
made
dad's
that tour
house.
not as bad.
Well, I'd leave my dad's house at like 8 a.m, so we already did our Christmas then. And I'd go to Dunkin' Donuts and I'd get a big, huge box of coffee and donut holes and bring it to my mom's house and go to my mom's next instead of like waiting to the end of the day and surprise them with donuts and coffee for breakfast.
Oh, that's
And
sweet.
then I started to do that every year until I moved down here.
it became
so-
a tradition at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's
and that
cute.
helped my Christmas.
Yeah, right. That was your way of making it better.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is when we went and stayed down there in May with Kristen and had the cabin, it's May. Like it was the beginning, middle of May. So it was like the first 10, 11 days of May. Or no, I'm sorry. It's like the 3rd or something through the 15th or whatever. I left the day before her birthday, which was horrible, but I had to leave. And weather's coming in. We're down by the lake talking to people and just acting like tourists for once. And we all said it. We said, let's go act like tourists because we're not tourists. We know the whole town. And we went down there and there was a couple ladies sitting at the table talking, and they were like, you could hear that they were panicking about the weather coming in. And we're like, oh, we're from here. Like we grew up here. It's going to be a dusting. It's really not going to be a big deal. And Greta's
She's
camera's
flickering again.
flickering again. Yeah.
extra sparkly shiny.
I don't know why it does that. Like, it has, and it didn't for a really long time. So I don't understand it. Stop. Anyway, so we tell these ladies, don't worry about it. Like, they're trying to figure out whether they need to get back over the hill to Sacramento or whatever before the storm comes. We're like, this happens. It's Tahoe.
It's fine. It's
It
fine.
might be a dusting. It might be nothing. Oh, it was a whiteout blizzard. It was a whiteout blizzard. I've got pictures of the cabin, and it is full on. You can't see anything outside. It's, it's full on snow.
You told them it's a dusting.
Don't worry about it. It'll just
gonna be a dusting.
I'm sure they were like, when they woke up with the amount of snow that was coming down later that day, they were like, those bitches ain't from here. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, and all of us said this. We're like, I don't know that we're ever going to have a moment with the three of us in a cabin in Tahoe again for a really long time. And so we were like, it snowed for us. Like, we were all so happy and the cabin
Never been happy
was
about
very
snow
rust.
my whole entire life. I've never ever been happy about snow in my whole entire life.
We were all super
Like,
happy about it.
If I know it's just a few flakes, like legit, and the temperature is going to warm up later and it's going to go away, okay, that's pretty to watch.
See,
that's the happiest I've been, but that is only if I know the temperature is rising all day long.
That is definitely a good reason why you should not have gone to Tahoe with that guy.
And we had that discussion. I mean, and legit, I was like, I'm gonna have to go shopping. I have no clothes. I have a coat that is suitable in Tahoe, and I own a pair
and
of
probably
Uggs.
not even that.
No, it is. It's one of those like puffer jackets, but it's thin and the
okay.
thermally. Remember, I'm very cold natured.
Okay.
She's got a heated jacket and heated socks and heated leggings and a
Yeah, but I mean, I was like, I'm gonna have to go buy some clothes to even come to Tahoe. I am like, yeah.
But if you don't like snow, you don't
love
even
snow.
like to see snow. So you definitely aren't going to want to walk in snow. You're not going to want to ski in snow. You're not going to
It's
want
good
to.
looking. He wanted to take me to
You
Tahoe.
can have sex in a room looking out a window at snow. There you go.
I mean,
Girls got to do what a
Yeah,
girl's
girls
got to do. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, you can have sex with me until the snow goes away. And he's like, "Come on, snow."
I mean, that would have been like quite a few months, wouldn't it? We were there that long.
y'all will both be very sore.
We were going to be there that long.
Well, I mean, if
What you asked favorite Christmas movie?
Was he
Or
over the
Christmas
age of
memory?
20?
Yes, he's my
then
age.
it wouldn't last that long.
You asked favorite Christmas memory? One year it snowed on Christmas Day, and we were driving to Tampa or to Anna Maria Island, Florida, and I was saying bye-bye snow, knowing I was going to the sand. That's one of my favorite Christmas memories.
Okay.
Christmas Day.
You're like,
I didn't
bye.
have to- and everybody at home's taking pictures. I went and put my toes in the sand when I got there and went, this is the only white
Okay,
stuff I want to see.
so for you could happily do a Christmas in Hawaii.
155%.
I cannot. My husband and I have talked about going to Hawaii several times for Christmas. Like, let's forget the Christmas here. Let's not decorate. Let's not do anything. Just the two of us take a cruise or go to Hawaii.
Happily.
And I'm like, I love Christmas so much. And this is the first year, though, it's been a real struggle. It's been a real struggle to get the things decorated. I think there's two reasons. I blame it on my body, but I think the biggest reason is I'm sad. I'm so sad this year that I can't get it. I can't get that joy.
I spent 4 years not. You've seen my house. My house is a little overboard of decorated. I spent 4 years that I would put out a few of my little sit around things, very few, like 10, and no tree. Mm-hmm. Then I
Right.
finally went and bought that little silver tree. I don't know if you noticed it. That's on my front porch. It's like a 3-foot little tinsel silver tree. And I
So
finally
you started small and got bigger. Okay. Yeah.
But I've always had all of those ornaments that fill up that big tree in my den.
Okay. Okay.
The amount of stuff that you have is overwhelming to me.
Yes.
I would never be able to do that. I would have
Well-
to do one small thing at a time and feel a little bit accomplished and then moved on to the next.
That's partly why it's so overwhelming for me right now, because I do have the same thing. Like I walk in, I'm OCD and ADHD, and I can be really accomplished, but if there's too much, I literally look at
It's
it
like brain freeze. Brain freeze.
yeah, I look at it like I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do, and Steve and I usually do it together. So it's a together thing, and I'm having to do it all by myself. Literally the other day, I broke down. I was crying. I'm sitting in my chair. This is so pathetic. But I was like, I felt like I was single already. I'm like, this is what it's going to be like if Steve's gone. And I don't know that I can do that.
No, I get it. I mean, I'm there all the time by myself. I get it.
Yeah, and I was like, so every time I start doing something, I'm just like, I can't. I go do something else. I go clean the kitchen. I go do laundry. I come back and I'm like, that shit's still there. Like, when are you going to set yourself up? And then I get one part done, and I'm like all the nutcrackers are now done, all put together. They have their nutcracker corner, and they're done. All the Santas. Almost all the Santas are done because I haven't brought in the mannequins yet. And some of those totes though are really heavy and really big. And that Steve's usually my muscle and helps me hang. And there's a lot of things that I have sitting there that they have to be hung up. And I was verboten to get on a ladder while he was gone. Mm-hmm. So I can't hang any of the stuff that needs to get hung. I'll probably get yelled at for the one believe that I did hang over by the Santa corner because I did that on the chair. I
Wasn't a ladder.
I did not use a ladder. I stood on the chair and one foot on the little side table, and I got it hung up there.
When I get in, because I live alone, when I get on the ladder or do something, even though my watch will tell someone if I fall, I call my mom
Yeah.
on the phone at least, and I'm like, I'm climbing a ladder. I'm gonna lay the
that's
phone
a
down.
smart thing
yeah,
to do.
I'm gonna lay the phone down. You know, that way, like I said, even though my watch is,
I'm going to start
posted it.
calling Greta. Greta, I'm on a ladder.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Hang out with me for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. I'm good.
I'm good. That's exactly what I do.
Well-
But my mother would rather me do that than her, than to get hurt.
Well, I told
So-
you guys about the time I was trying to hang my dad's memorial plaque in the garage, and it's big, it's kind of heavy, and it's awkward. And I was on a 2-foot step ladder, and it's like a regular step ladder, but it's just this two steps or whatever. It's not real tall, like maybe 2 feet tall at the most. And it crumbled under me. It's an old one. So I'm not blaming on my weight, but it could have something to do with it. And that board I was holding is
was so
really heavy. So it might have just been too much for it, but it buckled underneath of me. I fell, and I did everything to protect that as we were going down. And I laid there for hours until my dogs were freaking out. And it took me that long just to get the wood off of myself. Like, it was on top of me. And I kept having to like shimmy and shake and get it over and get it up. And my phone's in the office, nowhere near me. And
Again, why I got this, because if I don't, it will pop up and it will ask me if I'm okay.
Yeah.
And if I don't answer it, it will call 911 and my emergency contact.
yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
and
And that's why, I live alone. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
a smart thing
that's
to-
100% why
it's-
I got it.
And it's better than the thing around your neck.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
at
I've
least
fallen and I can't get up.
at least it's a watch. But
That's 100% why. And like, like I've noticed, like, not that I want to be a younger girl, but you can kind of tell trends of things going out of style if you watch that. And I've noticed they're not wearing them, and I'm like, crap, are Apple Watches going out of style? Because, like, then how am I gonna know if I fall down?
My
Who's
girls
gonna-
asked for them for Christmas.
Oh,
so
good, good. Yeah,
They did not get them, but they asked
that's
for
for
them.
them.
I was like,
Like, I'm like,
Poor broke white trash over here. We can't afford
you're
all
like,
that.
Timu's got some knockout.
Yes.
yeah.
You get the Timu Apple Watch. It might be Papple Watch.
Yeah. Happy Pappy.
It might-
But I mean, yeah, that's what I worry about. You know, I'm like, I like it that it says if I fall down, Like,
Right.
You know, like it protects me.
Even when you get older, falling, like, it sucks to fall in general. But when you fall,
I
you're
fall
like,
so much. I have a
Did I
routine
break
that
anything?
when I start falling, I fall so much. When I start falling, I know to twist my body and land on my hip and my booty because that's where the fat is, and
not using mirror.
and that way I
Breaking
don't
a wrist.
That way I don't put my hands down. That way I don't land on my knees. 'Cause
Roll.
They're gonna get scratched.
Roll when you're
I
falling.
legit have my mind
tuck and roll.
my mind goes when I feel myself falling. My mind goes into twist to land on my hip. And that's because that's where the fatty area is. So there's a little cushion there.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right though. As you get older, you're gonna have those situations.
I was
so.
dog sitting back. I don't know. It's been a while, but I was dog sitting and tripped over something. And one of the dogs was beside me, and I couldn't do that. I knew not to put my hands down. Somehow I landed and hit but I hit my head and got a nice little concussion from that.
Oh, that's fun.
That was fun.
Well-
Well, the better part about the concussion was I went to a Jelly Roll concert that night. Already had that playing.
Oh,
Yeah. If you're in the Orion and you have a headache, it hurts worse.
I was gonna say that
The
had to have been-
aerodynamics
Yeah.
of it. When I would stand up, like when I was sitting down, my head was kind of like, do, 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 do. When I would stand up, my head was like, I was like, okay, I don't want to sit down, but I got to.
Yeah.
There's not enough goody powder.
There's not
Yeah.
enough out there for that. That
I didn't drink. I didn't have a beer or nothing. I was like, I can't. I just got to sit down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like when I finally got the wood off, my dogs are pretty amazing because my dog literally let me hold onto her collar and his collar, and they drug me across the floor to the office to a chair. Well, to where the chair was. And I was able to use my body to climb up onto the chair, and it has rollers on it. So I was able to roll myself into the office, and I couldn't get it over the threshold to get into the office where the phone was. So when Steve got there, I was just sitting on the chair outside the office because he got home and he went around the house and I wasn't there. So he's like, oh, she's probably out working. And he came in and I'm just sitting there, and he could tell by the look on my face something was wrong. And then he looks and he's doing a scan. And he sees the ladder crushed, and he sees the wood on the, and he's like, are you okay? He's like, I can see that something happened here. Are you okay? And I'm like, Charlotte saved me. But I told him what happened, and he's like, you're not allowed on ladders unless somebody's present, you know? And so, I mean, if I ever have to now, I'm calling Greta.
You can call me.
Because at least, and Greta can have Steve's phone number so she can call Steve and say, Tori's down. Go rescue her.
Donna
But-
says we were just talking about this. I don't know
Yeah.
if that just popped up.
Yeah. But that was also his reason for when I'm out of town though, you're verboten. Because if something happens, I need to be within a certain time frame to get to you. Even if somebody else is able to get to you and get you to the hospital or call
Yeah.
911 or whatever,
I still need to be
I
there.
still need to be able to get
I
there.
totally get that.
I'm not going to be across the country and you're in the hospital. So you're not allowed on a ladder. I'm like, Yes, we were just talking about that. Not sure which part of that about that it is, but yes. But so my favorite Christmas, and it's not really Christmas, it's the season kind of thing, was when my dad came to Budapest for Christmas to see us. And then my dad and I went skiing in the Alps that Christmas afterwards. That was one of my favorite. It was also a traumatic one, which I won't go into the traumatic part of the Christmas or the holiday, but that visit was so fun and so cool. And because my dad came, he got to see my boarding school. We got to go skiing. We went to the Alps, and I was able to show him how much beer I could drink, and he's like, "Why are you able to drink this much beer?" And
At boarding school.
at boarding school, like,
What are you learning here?
what are you learning here?
What am I paying for?
Well, he wasn't paying for any of it because the
okay.
federal government paid for it.
Okay.
It was your good old tax dollars that paid for my schooling, because my parents were diplomats. So I thank you. I mean, I'm not going to say your tax dollars paid for it, but your parents did,
Stay-
because you weren't old enough to be, because you're my age.
Right.
So you weren't old enough to be paying taxes, but your parents were paying
parents
for
were.
my schooling.
My mom hates, I tie a knot in a cherry stem, and my mom hates when I say, "This is what I learned in college." In my defense, though, like Sonic Happy Hour, we would go get Route 44 cherry limeades with extra cherries. And back then, you actually got extra cherries. It wasn't like two more. Like, and so,
Well, that was an era too, that when you said extra cherries, they knew you were going to tie a knot in the stem, and they would. I remember.
so that's what I learned. In
I remember
college.
bartenders like actually looking for, if there was a little short stem, they didn't give you that one. They
Yeah.
gave you the ones with the longer
Yeah.
stems and
yeah.
whatnot. And I hate those cherries. I love like Bing cherries, fresh cherries.
I like both.
I hate
You hate
those.
maraschino?
I
love them.
I love them.
Yeah,
I
and I
regular
will tie it. And it's hard to find them, like if I've got a pool party or something that have the stem.
right. 'Cause
Most
they
of the
just
time they
come
don't
with
now.
Just the cherries, because that's not popular anymore. But
I know when I do it, people are like, "Wow,
that's impressive. You're fun in the bedroom.
wow."
You've got a talented tongue.
Hey, do.
But
And I'm single.
Gentlemen, start your engines. She knew where I was going with that. So I think the reason I hate them though is because of that. Like I would eat so many of them trying, and I could tie, I could tie 3 knots on a good stem.
I was going to say that's a good stem because
That was a good
most are
stem.
long
and
enough.
most of them now, even I feel like when you do find them with the
They
stems,
fall apart.
They're mushier.
They're mushy. They fall apart before you, like it breaks right as you're pulling it, because you have to get it with your tongue
Well, you tie it and then you pull it tight as you take it out.
and
That's
and you're kind of holding it with your teeth, and you're kind of holding it with your tongue, and they just well, that blew. So I agree. They have to be just right.
They do.
They have to be just at the right consistency of soakiness or whatever. Soakiness.
We went to one year. You said, "Gentlemen, start your engines," and we're talking about cherries. We were in Talladega one year. My friend Nathan was so excited because it was his own cherries that he had got off of his tree, and he had put them in some moonshine. Yay! Okay, that's cool. Y'all want one? Yeah. They had pits in them
Oh.
He put
and moonshine. You did not know to spit or swallow when you got that in your mouth.
That's what she said.
I know. But that you had the thought, which was hilarious, so you kind of wanted to laugh, and then you had a pit in your mouth and moonshine. And you're like,
What do I do with this?
and I was like, Nathan, finally, got the pit out, swallowed the moonshine, laughed about it, and it was like, "What are you thinking?
You
Could you not have
choked
told
somebody."
us that there were pits in those?" Like,
Yeah. You can take the pits out.
out, yeah.
There's a little tool for that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can leave the stem on when you do those.
And this like wasn't like good old flavored moonshine. This was like, the kerosene. Like
Oh,
it don't
No.
really taste good.
No.
yeah, I
No,
wouldn't
no.
have been drinking that
No,
anyway.
it would have been a spit.
Yeah, that would have been a spin all the way for me.
This was before they started. It wasn't before. You could get some apple pie and you could soak your, different fruits in moonshine. But his pitted cherries had not flavored this moonshine yet.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh. Yeah, that's I consider bourbon when my husband drinks bourbon to be, fuel. I'm like,
I'm
why
a
do you,
whiskey girl.
why do you drink petrol? Like that's
I'm a whiskey girl.
When my dad used to drink, it was whiskey, and now I can't stand the smell of whiskey.
I'm that way with vodka. My stepdad, who had a drinking problem, liked vodka, and I don't like. Some of the flavors are fine, but just straight up vodka. If I can taste it, no, thank you, or smell it.
That was Kristen's go-to is vodka, and
It is a mini alcoholics vodka.
I
Yeah.
still
Like the
have
choice.
I still have vodka because I am one of those girls. You have to have the proper glass for the proper type of drink. If it's a martini, it goes in a martini glass. A margarita goes in a margarita glass. If you're having bourbon, it's in a bourbon snifter. If you're having whiskey, it's in a whiskey I mean, I have all those because of that reason. But I also have the crystal
I have
decanters.
lots of pretty little whiskey glasses, but mostly mine goes in a
Red Solo
or
cup.
She's like, that's my kind of
I pour it like my Yeti-ish cup, the metal ones now.
Wine goes in wine glasses, and I have plastic ones for the pool. I even have a camping one that's a cup, like a regular cup size, because you're going to tip it over, but inside of it is a wine glass.
Yeah.
And it's for camping. And everybody laughs because they're like, she still has to have her wine glass camping, but it's a Home Depot cup thing that it has the little plastic wine glass inside of it. It's super cute though, actually, when I pull it out for camping. And I have a set of plastic wine glasses. They don't have the bottoms that pop on. They're an actual wine glass, and they have raised embossed grapes on them and stuff. And those are for my camp. Those are in my
I have
camping
lots
gear.
of plastics that are just for the pool.
And people are like-
but then I do always have like if you come to my pool, I'm gonna have a setup, but so there is
And I always have the
solo
red-
cups
yeah, me
out
too,
there.
me too.
Like you can make you a drink. There's a solo
Just
cup.
because
Because people do bring their own kind of, but if I plan to drink, we gonna drink it out of the proper glass.
well, and just because I want it out of the proper glass,
Yes.
I don't glass shame other people.
Right, exactly.
If you want
Well, you'd be glass
Now,
shaming me because
if
I
you
think
want-
I only have plastic
I will
cups in
glass
my
shame a
house.
restaurant.
I will shame a restaurant. I agree.
Yes.
If
I'm like,
we had this discussion the other night
why
when
are
we
you
went
giving
out.
why are you giving me a margarita in a cup?
A cup.
Yeah.
Like if I order a mule, it better be in a metal
It
mule
better be in
tin.
the better mule glass.
It
Yes.
better be. I have them. Like I have my house. I have them.
them.
You're a bar. Have
Yeah.
the proper glass.
I probably wouldn't even know the difference.
No, probably not. You're like, why isn't this in the solo
but that
cup?
is- but
Exactly.
part of a mule is a copper. It goes.
Although I was impressed with the fact to learn that in Huntsville, if you have the purple cup or whatever,
Yeah,
you can walk.
Those
with
are
that
pretty
one.
cool. Athens has that too.
Oh, does it?
Athens is blue. I think.
Athens
Yeah.
is blue. So I'm like, I'll just keep my cup
Yeah. Athens does. Yeah, Athens does that too.
until they fall apart, and then I'll go get another one.
Yeah.
But,
And Decatur, I forget what color. Decatur has it too. I forget
and they
what color
said something
theirs is.
about the fact that like you can't buy those in the store. They're really you are going to have to order them if you want to trick them.
And well, the
'Cause you can't
sponsor
buy 'em
the
in the
sponsor
store here.
changes.
Oh, okay. Well, the
You
ones
don't know when the sponsor.
the
It's
one-
not like monthly. You don't know when it's going to
Ah.
change. So if you walk up with your blue cup and the sponsor's different, they know you don't have the right cup.
the ones that we got when we went down to Huntsville didn't have no logo on them.
The Athens do.
They were plain. They were just plain purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not.
Remember that you got Greta to come to
But
Huntsville?
they also gave them to our teenage daughters. They were
It's not necessarily alcohol.
they
It's,
they were a non-alcoholic drink, but I was like, if that's what your that's what the thing is if you're walking around and you're outside and you have the solo cup, they know it's, was legitly bought or whatever, and you're allowed to have it. I'm like, shouldn't they have a different color for if you're a minor?
But they wouldn't they would not let you leave at all.
Yeah.
So it's legit just that you bought it at an establishment. Like they would that you could not walk out of there with any kind of cup in your hand.
And
They wouldn't let you.
now you can, but still, like, I guess it's the cop part of me that goes like, minors shouldn't have the
that
same color cup because
I get it
because I would think that
be like a lighter color
as
or
a
darker,
police
whatever.
officer or whatever,
Yeah.
I would see that teenager walking with a purple cup.
or give them a
assume it's
styrofoam
liquor.
cup or something.
I would want to go up and question
Investigate
them
what's
and
in the cup.
investigate what's in the cup. Like, did they, as they're leaving, did they walk by somebody else's table and grab their,
I have a funny
whiskey sour or
walk
whatever.
out with the cup story. A little bar down there in Anna Maria Island. It was my stepdad's favorite. It's called Clancy's. And there's this bartender, and I don't know, like I hit it. Me and the bartender were big buddies, and we would kind of talk and whatever. My mom, usually me and my stepdad would go to this bar. My mom did not like this bar. She was there one night, and she was like, "I hate that bartender. Why are you so nice to him?" And I was like, "He's a cool dude. Why do you hate him?" He embarrassed me by yelling at me one night, and I went, "What did he yell at you for?" He yelled at me for leaving with a cup. And I was like, "A cup or a glass?" Because most of theirs were glasses. And she was like, "Me and Gail were walking out of here with our drink." And I went, "Well, you can't."
Right, you're not
That's
supposed to be
stealing.
doing that.
But my mom hates this bartender because he got onto her for doing a legit thing she was not supposed to do. And I was like, "Well, Mother, you were stealing a glass of theirs, one. Like it wasn't a styrofoam cup. It wasn't a solo cup. And two, you can't leave this establishment with the drink." Well, he embarrassed me, and he shouldn't have done that.
Well, you embarrassed yourself because you
Yeah.
shouldn't have been doing it.
Right?
Yeah, Rachel, he should have. Yeah.
So I will say that I have in the past. It's partly I'm a very patient person, but I'm not as patient when it comes to servers in a restaurant and stuff. If I've asked you for something more than twice, I start getting a little irritated. And when you're done, you've paid the bill, and you're waiting on the to-go box, I think about when I was a server. If someone asked me for a to-go box, I scanned their table, and if they had any sauces or anything, even if they weren't bringing them or taking
They'll
them,
bring lids and
I
stuff.
brought little ramekins and little lids so that they could just take them. And nowadays, I'm noticing they don't give a shit. They don't pay attention. They don't even know how many they need. They bring you one box because you're the one that said it. They didn't look at the table nor ask anyone
ask,
else,
"Does
do you
anyone
want
else?"
the rest? Or see, and I'm talking like this recently happened at a wing place. I'm not going to name names, but a place we got wings. And we have a couple of different flavors.
If it's our wing place that's the brand name wing place in town, that's where that brand goes to die. That is the worst of all of those.
Right, and I had several sauces, and I like to take the buffalo sauce and mix it with my ranch for my celery and stuff like that. So I needed several little things. Asked her 4 times for the little cups with lids. After 4 times of asking, those metal
Yeah.
ramekins went into my to-go container because I'm like, fuck it. If you don't care enough to bring me something to put it in,
Yep.
I'm just going to take them.
I'm going to take it.
They're great now because I use them for delivering mom's pills. I just put them in there. I keep them right there next to where all the pills are, and I put them in there. And she's got her own little pill container for taking her pills every day. And I'm like, so I've had people come over when I'm serving, and I use some different. Some I've bought, but a few of those I've taken from a restaurant, and they're like, "Oh, these are cool. Where'd you get those?" And
Well, what happened
them.
was
what happened was,
From B-dubs.
yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know how any of this has to do with 'tis the season, but it is part of that.
Yeah.
'Tis the season for rudeness.
Bad service.
Tis the
Unfortunately.
season for bad service. 'Tis the season for impatientness. 'Tis the season for bad drivers. 'Tis
bad drivers. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
'tis the season for people, they're so focused on, I got to get my shopping done, I got to do this, I got to do this, that they're not mindful of their surroundings. They don't pay attention to people. And I think it's partly what's
They will
added-
knock a handicapped person down to get what they want.
Right. It's now what's probably causing me the anxiety of the holidays anymore, because it's become such a greedy holiday. It's become such a selfish act. When you have Christmas selling advertisements starting in September, and we haven't even had Thanksgiving or Halloween yet, and you're
We don't get to
this-
have. I mean, you have Thanksgiving with your Christmas tree up now. Like,
yeah, and the stores are full of Christmas stuff is coming out in September,
yeah.
and you know,
Well,
and yes,
Valentine's is already out.
Valentine's is
Really?
already out now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
and we haven't
Valentine's
even
is
finished
out
Christmas.
at TJ Maxx and it I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
wow.
probably Walmart, dollar store.
Probably,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's like, can we get through one holiday before we're already celebrating the next holiday? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I miss the time of the seasons and the holidays. Like, I miss it being, I get it. You do have to put that stuff in the stores. You do have to, and I'm bad with my own business because I don't really start promoting my Christmas stuff until it's too late. And like next year, my goal for next year is to really be ahead of the ball, because this last year and the year before was really getting the shop together. And it's still not 100%. It's much better now, and it's almost all the way it needs to be. A little bit more organizing, and now that we put a whole new desk in there, it's, you know, I tore everything apart to put that one in there. But you know, now it's taken us that long to get it where we needed to go. And part of that was when we moved in here. So there was a faux pas with our closing. And they accidentally didn't put our two parcels together in the final paperwork. So as we were doing it, we're like, wait a minute, where's the other parcel? Because it's
Yeah.
two parcels. And my shop is on one and the house is on another, but it was together as one sale.
parcel.
Right.
And they didn't put them together. So they weren't in it. So as we're doing our final we're like, at least Steve caught it. He's like, where's the other piece? I'm not finishing signing this, because
Yeah.
if I do, you're getting the money and you
we're
get to
out
keep
the
and we're
land.
out the land.
Yeah.
So then they go through and they look at everything, they get it put together, and they are pulling the whatever they have to pull, the titling, the deeds, whatever. And they learned that it had never been put in their name. It was still in the mother's name. She's dead.
Oh.
They couldn't, and
So
and
they couldn't sell it to you.
back in the old days, when because the grandfather or the father owned everything you see around here, like hundreds and thousands of acres. He owned everything, and everything around us is owned by given to the niece, the nephew, the cousin. All of this is all owned by was owned by the same family. And the house, the white house on the corner, that's where the mother lived when the daughter and her husband were over here. So, I mean, it's all been in the family. So in the old days, when they transferred stuff like that, it was just power of attorney. And they couldn't find the power of attorney.
It was never recorded.
It was never recorded. So what happens is, goes back to next to kin. So it's her and her sister
Yeah.
because they can't give it to just her. They have
Right.
to give it to both. And then they're like, well, technically, and before they learned that it was their fault with the titling, they thought it was something on our end. So she wouldn't let us move into the house. And we have two big, we were government moved here, but we have two like 30-foot trailers that needed to be dropped off. They were already held in storage for 3 months, paid for by the government for the move. But no more would be approved because they only had that time frame. They had 90 days.
Right.
And so we had another lady talk to us. She's like, I'm going to let this go for this much time. And then if we didn't start moving our trucks and getting stuff out of it, they were going to charge us another $3,000 per trailer. And it was going to be like a week's worth of time, but it's the whole month. They're going to charge you for the whole month.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a
matter.
week. So we finally, our realtor talked their realtor, talked the lady into, we'll give you the keys and we'll let you put it in the big building. You can't put it in the house and you can't go in the house, but you can put it in the big building. So we had some people come over and help us. And we unloaded those two trailers and just loaded it into there like a warehouse. So then once the lady felt so bad afterwards when they found out it was their titling
theirs.
problem,
Yeah.
not our fault. Because sometimes realtors don't give all the information.
Right.
And
Well,
she's
the title company should have been straight up about that at the closing table.
well,
I come from the mortgage
but-
world. The title company should have said, hold up.
Well, the title company was the one who said, oh, it was our fault that they weren't put together. And it
Yes.
wasn't until they were putting them together that they realized, but they never let her realtor know that.
They
never
and
let our realtor know
They
that.
should.
So,
They should have.
Yeah.
That's on the title company.
and then
Like,
when it came time,
it's not even on the realtor. That's the title company.
right. Well, and then when it came time for them to have,
Is it here in Athens?
Yeah. And then they realized, oh shit, it now is owned by her and her sister. Well, all of our paperwork was just the sale with the one person. And her husband's dead, so he's not on it. So it's just her. Well, now the property is owned by her and her sister. And you can't do that.
Right.
And so the lawyer gets involved and we're having a meeting and he's like, so literally they would have had to redo all of our loan, all of our paperwork, everything. And it's not just a matter of redoing it. They have to rerun everything. They have to redo everything. It's right when the interest rates were going up. And Steve and I are freaking out. We're like, no, this is the deal we have. We're not redoing things. Because then we might have to pay more. Might have to do this. And we have these trucks, if we don't have them unloaded, and we're in the process of doing that. And of course, it gives us no time to clean anything. Just dump it in there. And so then she finds out it's her fault, actually. But so what the lawyer finally came up with is what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick deed from the sister to the sister,
Yeah.
as long as she agrees. Because that was we
Quick
were
claim.
panicking. We're
Yeah.
like, what if the sister says, "I ain't selling.
Yeah.
I don't
you're
want
screwed.
to."
Yeah.
Then we're
What if you have
screwed.
one of those sisters? And yeah, very well could.
She might be like, "I wanted that the whole time, and Daddy gave it to you." How do you know? You
Yeah.
don't know.
You don't know.
So I'm like on pins and needles, waiting for them to call and say the sister's refusing.
Yeah.
Or
that could
the
easily
sister
happen.
said, you can have this much, but I want this much for this other parcel. Who knows? And it was the whole thing. It wasn't just that one piece, but whatever. So the sister was okay. And she actually came to the closing. They did a quick deed like an hour before we came for the closing. So we were still, they were
did
still
it.
there. We were still there. And they did the quick deed. They recorded it. And all of it's done with the lawyer, and then our paperwork would be fine because now it's in the right name, blah, blah, blah. And it all went through fine. But because of that, that's why it's taken us so long, because we didn't have an empty shop to just work in, clean it all out. I'm still cleaning spider webs and shit out because it was filthy. I mean, that place was disgustingly dirty.
I looked at this house. It was
Disgustingly
It was-
dirty,
it
wasn't it?
was, it
Yeah,
was.
You said that. You said and there was a lot of people that walked away because I love the house, but like there's no wall space. Down here there is. Upstairs there's very little wall space because they put so much built-ins in. I love them. They're great, but there's no wall space and I'm an art person. So there's a very hard to put art up in our house. And if you have a dining room set with your own hutch, there ain't nowhere to put it because everything's built in.
Yep.
So, and to some people, it was very confusing about the way that it looks. And the pictures they took were horrible.
They absolutely were.
It looked like this was an abandoned haunted house or
did.
something. It did look
even
really
touring
bad.
it, like looking through, it was like an abandoned.
Yeah,
haunted
it
house.
was really dirty. It was really.
Did she move
filthy.
away then?
So I guess from what happened after they did the remodel, not long after that, he passed away after it was finally finished, done. And he put a ton of money into remodeling that. They added on to the house. That's our bedroom and the kitchen. They added on and he made a gourmet kitchen for her. So she must have been a really good cook or something. But shortly after everything was final and done, he passed away.
Okay.
And she couldn't live in it anymore.
She never wanted to
She
live.
didn't want to be here by herself without him. So
I get that.
And she just closed it up. Well, after a few years, she realized, I'm just going to sell it. So she put it up for sale. And I don't know if you saw it at the higher price, but it was like 600 and something thousand when we first went
I
to
was like
look at it.
450 or something when I
That's
looked at it.
okay. That's what we paid for it. But they had dropped it that far down, and it had been on the market for almost a year when we bought it. And there was only like 7 cards on the table. Hardly anybody had come to see it. And the day though that we put the offer in, they got 4 offers that day. So they did accept ours because obviously we live here, but we love it. There's always issues with any house you have.
Yeah.
Even if you have it built, there's certain things that you're like, oh crap, we have 3 air conditioners. We had to put a brand new one in for mom's upstairs because she has the original master bedroom suite upstairs. And there's a second bedroom up there. Well, we took the doors off her bedroom and the second bedroom and put a door at the top of the stairs to make it her own little apartment, her own little suite up there. But, so there's things we've had to change. There's things we had to fix. We pulled all the carpet out upstairs and, as you do. But Steve is not a patient person. So he's like, it should all be done like yesterday. And it takes time. So I couldn't work because it was so fucking cold out there in the summer or the winter. And the summer, it's so blasted hot out there, I couldn't work. So there's like 2 months of the year I could actually work. Running a business 2 months out of the year is not going to be beneficial.
No, that's
at
not
all.
profitable.
And so I would collect as much as I could and work in the office because the office had a window air conditioner.
Yeah.
So I could work in the summer in there, but it's very small, very small. I want to expand that because it's too fucking small. But then in the winter, I could put a heater in there. But if you're working with anything that the cold can affect, I can't leave the heaters on because
Fire hazard.
I'm not going to have a fire. I don't want it to just be gone in the morning. So there's a lot of things that got to it. So that was one of the parts of it. We got an air conditioning, we put a mini split in and we did it ourselves because we called and had air conditioning, heating.
Very, very, very,
Very expensive.
very expensive.
Yeah. They were like, to heat this. And of course they think, you have the money and you need to put a big industrial size, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to cost you like $30,000. I was like, yeah, you can go fuck off. I don't think so.
We tried to do one of those for the garage that we have that we've turned into a playroom for the kids. And it was going to be something like $7,000 to put in the little mini splint for like a 500 square foot garage. Like, this is stupid.
Hiring someone.
Yeah.
Right.
So we just had, I forget what their name of the company was, but they were recommended to us by our builders, and they just expanded, like went up and put a vent.
A vent in.
Yeah.
So it's
And that was it.
that was it. And that probably cost very little
Yeah,
compared
just a couple $100.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, we can't do that to the shop
Right,
because it's a
right.
bit of a distance.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, like, there was no water out there. So that was part of the process. My husband had to dig a trench, and we buried the cat cable for my internet over there because you're not going to get Wi-Fi over there.
Right.
I run a business. I can't have shitty internet. So we ran that over there, and we used to have the recording studio in that little tiny office. So that was fun because that was a tiny space. But so now I have water over there. He's ran the water, and that had to be. We had to trench out the driveway. We had to cut the driveway, trench it out, run it from under the house across, and then over. Which he had already got it already. But that last piece was across the driveway, which we now have done. And so now I have water over there. I have heat. I have air conditioning. And now when I walk over there and open the doors and go inside, I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's winter
Yay.
and it's comfortable in here. I could actually work in here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it's a process. It's not something that you can do in 5 minutes. And we would have had probably a lot better organization and a lot better setup if it had been empty when we started, because we could have cleaned it all and then started setting stuff up where we wanted it to go. But we were having to do sections at a time and separating the boxes to go to the house. And because we had this basically warehouse, I just wanted, just bring me these boxes to the house, unpack them, put the stuff away, then I'll get more boxes. I don't want all of the household stuff just moved over there because it's just going to be overwhelming and it's going
Absolutely.
to be crowded. And now I did finally circle back to the original reason for this, but that's where I'm at with all the Christmas. Like he usually brings all the Christmas into the porch as a staging area, but then he brings me in 1 or 2 totes at a time. And I want all the Nutcracker totes, and I label everything. So you know what's in it. Bring me those. I'll unpack that. I'll do that. And then
It's a one manageable task at a time.
but because he was leaving, so much had to be brought in at once. And then other things are out there that I'm ready for, but they're too heavy, so I can't get them in. And I'm just like, I just look around and go, well, what's on TV instead? I can't. I look at it and I
I
just
totally get that.
freak out.
It makes anxiety like
It does. It made, and on top of that, I had to take the ambo in to get the hitch put on, and Greta was kind enough to follow me there to drop it off.
Unfortunately, I couldn't go back to pick it up, but I
That's
got
okay
you there.
because Christy took me the other day and she
Yeah.
dropped me off on her way home, and I was able to bring it back. And but that. I don't drive the big stuff anymore. I let Steve do it. He loves it. He's great with it. And I got in and I was literally shaking. I was having such an anxiety attack. And then the buzzers were going off and this was going off. And I was like, normally I have Steve show me where everything is. And I've driven these big things before, but it's been a while. So I'm like, do I need to wait for the glow plug? Do I need, I don't know what I'm fucking doing.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm feeling really stupid. And then these alarms are going off and it's saying water and oil. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, it just needs to build pressure. Once you get going, all that stuff will go. I'm like, well, I'm in a panic now.
panic
Like,
mode.
Yeah.
after everything we went through, I'm like, I do not want to be broken down on the side of the road
with
because I
this.
don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And, I get it out there. That was easy.
We should have, since we went to Decatur, we should have stayed the other night because it was right at duskish. my friend and I rode around last night, looked at the Christmas lights in Old Town
yeah.
Decatur.
Yeah.
If y'all need
Old Town
Christmas
Decatur
lights,
is so pretty.
if you need Christmas lights to go to, so they still have a competition
Oh, okay.
in Old Town. Like, so you'll see the signs that say silver
cool.
and gold, and so they really go all out.
Oh, that's nice.
We
That's
should have
nice.
stayed. 'Cause Beth and I last night we kind of joked about we had our songwriters night that we do once a month.
Oh, what's that?
And at the Princess, they have a once a month they have a songwriters. Yeah, they have a songwriter. They bring in a songwriter and they sing and tell you kind of the stories behind their songs.
That's cool.
Last night's was really good. He had wrote "It's a Great Day to Be Alive" for Travis Tritt. Long Time Gone, the Dixie Chicks.
The Who Chicks?
the chicks, because they don't want a Dixie in their name. But he had quite a few. He was really good. But anyway, usually we go eat like just kind
I
of.
call them the shitsy tricks.
I love their music, but I hate
do.
their attitudes.
I love their music. I
Yeah.
hate their woke attitudes.
Yeah, or it's really more the main singer than the other two, even.
Yeah.
But usually we go to eat at one
Guilt
of the little
by
restaurants
association.
by the Princess. And last night something was said about Christmas lights, and I was like, I mean, we could just go get Zaxby's and ride around and look at Christmas lights because we've got a little bit of time usually that we can grab something to eat. So we
Oh, so
did,
you're
and it
just
was
going to
beautiful.
continue to rub it in is what you're doing now.
It was beautiful. Like
we should have,
so,
but I didn't.
yeah. What?
Should have stayed, but we didn't, so I did it anyway.
Yeah, I did it with someone else.
Well, no, I didn't think about it. I wish I had.
No,
but
yeah, I know it wasn't like you did it purposely.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I was thinking about it, but I didn't want
No,
to do
I
it with
didn't think
you.
about it, but
Yeah.
like we were talking about lights somewhere else. And I was like, oh wait, we're in Decatur. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I
They have
don't,
the
I don't,
prettiest.
I don't think about that until it's after the fact. Usually, too. After
Yeah.
the fact, you go, "Oh, we should have done this."
Yeah.
Oh, we should have done that.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, it always is. It always is. But it's our time.
Yes.
I gave a 25
wow.
I gave
Friday.
a 25-minute warning like 30 seconds ago. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? That sometimes that's what I kept watching it. It was like, okay, I'm going to write 15 minutes. And then I was like, well, it's 5. And we kept talking and I'm like, okay,
not.
it's
Never
time. Never mind. It's time. So that is our show for the day.
Friday. We'll see you on
Happy
Monday.
Friday.
For those of you out there, what is your favorite holiday? What is your favorite memory of Christmas? What are you doing? What is your 'tis the season? And share that stuff with us, and we'll share it. We'll talk about it.
squirrel on it.
We'll squirrel on it a little bit. We have kept on topic. We came back to it a couple times.
We did. We did a little better today.
We try. We are a couple. We are a bunch of squirrels. So
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
should
think
be
it's ADHD.
It could be. It should
just
be
women.
It should be squirrel talks, but I mean, girl. If you look it up in the dictionary, it's really squirrel. That's really what it means. But anyway, remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Yes.
please. Everything, all of our socials is Girl Talks, GURLTAUX, because we're going to talks about it. We'll talks to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Not tomorrow, Monday.
Monday.
yeah,
Monday.
Or
not
my
tomorrow.
day's wrong.
No, it is Friday. We'll see you Monday.
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 All right. Bye, guys.